All right. Thank you all for being on today. I know it's the day after Labor Day and everything is it's weird. Like my gym class usually has tons of people and there were 4 of us today. So I guess everybody's just kind of getting the swing of things after Labor Day. But anyways, thank you all for being on. So we started, I guess it's been 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did our first Zoom team training and we got through as many points as we could and we said we would pick up. So today we're picking up. So we're going to start it like we did last time and allow about 15 minutes for questions. So if you have a question, if you will go down to the chat button, this is business, not product at this point. So if you will go down to the chat and type your question, then Ariele and I can answer some of those, and then at 15 minutes we will start on the points that we have that we wanted to talk about. So any questions over business, let us know. And just a bit of business stuff right now. Next week we will not have a Zoom because we will be in Hawaii. So we leave Friday, and I know both of us have so much to do before we leave. So we will always have our phone, but this week we're kind of crazy running all over the place. So anyways, but we will be able to answer stuff. Just give us a little bit of patience. And I will both have our phones in Hawaii too, but there's times we're in meetings and there are times we're just doing fun stuff. So, and I can't figure out the time zone. It's way different. But anyways, I can't figure out the time zone from here to California sometimes. I can do California. I cannot do Arizona. But okay, any questions? Ariele, do you have anything to say?
No, pretty much. You're good.
Okay. Anyone? If we don't have any questions, this is the time to ask us anything business. I have something in it or something. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Well, I guess that nobody has any questions, so we will move on to our points. If you think, oh, here's another one. Okay, Tiffany, this is a great question because it goes to our first point, actually. She says, how important would you say Zoom calls are for building business? Okay, somebody's not muted. Let me try to mute everybody real fast. There we go. Okay, so Tiffany, that's perfect because literally our first point where we're picking up is, I don't even know where you are. There you are. I'm like, where are you? Is talking about Zooms. I think Zooms are hugely important. I know we do ours weekly. I watch Zooms or YouTube videos that other leaders have done all the time. If I can, I watch one daily. That doesn't mean like I'm sitting there staring at the computer. It might mean that I'm listening to it in the car. But Zooms are hugely important. And why? Like every Zoom that we have, I truly learn something every time. And, a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, I think it's a couple weeks ago, we had Jen Hawkins, and she was talking about sometimes leaders feel like we're always saying the same thing when we do Zooms. But here's the deal. Every time somebody different comes in, I learn something new because they may say something just a little bit differently, or they may add to something that hits home with me. And so we always need to be learning, always. If we stop learning, then we're going to stop growing. If we stop, this is just part of working our business, and it's part of wanting to know more. There's so many good Zooms out there. We try to post them on our page when we find some, but I also think here's the deal. We have to treat our business like a business, right? We have a luxury business where we don't have to work at 8 to 5 and we don't have to wear, dressy clothes and we don't have to get dressed and all of that, right? But if we don't treat it like a business and if we're not learning, think about when you're at a business. You have meetings. If you're a teacher, you have in-service. You're always required to learn, right? And so if we treat our business like a business and we keep growing and learning all the time, then we are going to grow because one, you're also going to stay invested. You're going to stay, I think, held accountable a little bit. I think Zooms are huge accountability because they keep you thinking all the time. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is if you're not sharing these Zooms with your team, to share these Zooms with your team. Share the links and then share the recordings and encourage them however you can do it. There's times, guys, when I I'll do a drawing for something just for getting on the Zoom, because we want people learning and we want people engaged, because once you stop engaging, then how easy is it to fall off? It's pretty easy, right? So Ariele, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you covered it. Pretty important to be on the Zooms. So
very important, and very important to share with your team for sure, and let them know the importance of them, because somebody may not know the importance of being on a Zoom or what a Zoom even is. You know, if you told me 3 years ago you need to get on the Zoom, I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know what that word means. You know, so just letting them know what a Zoom is, how to do it. Make sure they know that you can see each other, so they're appropriate, because some people really don't. I know that's silly, but some people really don't know what a Zoom is, and I've had people say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know people could see me. So just let them know what they are, let them know what the importance is, and seriously post them. If you find one that you're watching on YouTube and you love it and you think your team needs to hear it, copy that link and post it on there as well. Okay, more questions. What are your top 2 tips for closing a sale, getting a prospect to join? Well, okay, somebody is not muted.
sure, I'm just going to mute myself since it's me.
It is? Oh. I guess something's going crazy at your house, Ariele. The first tip that I would say to closing is follow up, follow up, follow up. And guys, I know it's easy to get frustrated when you give samples and somebody says they're going to order, or somebody shows interest and they don't do it, right? It happens to all of us. But if you just let that go and think, well, they said they were going to order and they didn't, so I guess they don't want it, then you could be losing a sale, and you could be losing a sale to somebody else. Literally this week, I had somebody message me or come up to me at school and say, okay, I need to order some of that stuff. I gave them a sample a year ago, and I've talked to them numerous times throughout the year. We have to be patient. Yes, we want it quick. We're in a quick roll. We want it quick. We want results fast. But guys, I can tell you time and time again, it takes some people a while it's not important to them sometimes. They don't really know. They're intrigued. But for me, I watched Ariele and Celeste take it for how long? 8 months, I think, until I finally was like, okay, well, Scott was like, okay, we're going to try it. So don't let that no be no, because it may just be no right now. It may be yes, but then it takes them 2 years to order. I hope not, but don't get discouraged by that. It happens to everybody. People ask me all the time, well, how do you follow up without being pushy? Because I do not like being pushy. Like if I give them a sample, I'll check in 2 or 3 days later and say, how did you like that sample? Then if, they're like, yes, I'm going to order. And then I give them a couple days and I say, hey, love to help you order. Then if they haven't ordered, maybe a week later, hey, just want to make sure you don't have any more questions. Just simply, and when you're doing it, don't just say, that's all you're going to say. I would say, hey, what's going on? How are you? Whatever. Be personal about it. And then maybe say, just want to make sure you don't have more questions. I'm here to help if you need anything. And guys, I promise people will. It just sometimes takes people a while to order. But I think that just following up and keeping in contact, sometimes I just saw this testimony and it reminded me of you. So it's just another validation. If they need more proof, get them on a 3-way call. I know Ariele's always offering to do calls. I'm always offering to do calls. We can do a 3-way call with potential customers or ambassadors. So you just have to let us know. So those are 2 good ones. Ariele, you want to take the next one?
Well, really quick, I'm going to just add on to that one. Like if you're asking for tips for closing a sale or getting a prospect, one thing I do, and those of you that were at Leslie Zan a couple weeks ago, she talked about it, and I was doing this before, but I think it was great that she brought it up. I lead with the business and follow with the product. That way, if somebody tells me no to the business, I still have the product to follow up on as to signing a customer. So I just wanted to throw that in there as well. And
that's a work in progress for me, because that's very hard for me. I don't know why it's hard for me to talk about the business to a potential, but to me, it kind of terrifies me. It kind of leaves me vulnerable a little bit. People kind of, I don't know. And so, but I really have been trying hard to present the business, not just the product and everything that I do. And not to leave anybody out, because sometimes you think, oh, they would never do it. But for instance, the other day I had a new customer join, and we were talking, and we'd already talked about the products, and she's like, well, if you know a way I can work from my pool or something, well, actually, I do have a way you can work from your pool. And so I never thought, I was scared to ask her about the business. I don't know why I'm scared to ask people about the business. It's been life-changing for me. But for me, sometimes the money stuff is hard to talk about, and I guess that's why I'm intimidated by it a little bit. But we have an amazing opportunity, right? And it could change so many people's lives. We know it has. And so I'm just being real. I'm working very hard on that, but I really am trying to include the business with everybody and not leave anybody out with that. So thank you for reminding us of that, Ariele. I'm having a hard time talking today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have seen a lot of car stickers for various businesses. Have you used one? If so, do they work to get new prospects? I personally do not have one on my car. I'm not saying that they don't work. So I can't think of who it is. Somebody says I know one person that said that people are recognizing. Lindsay Johnson is in Farmington, New Mexico. I don't know if she's on here today or not, but we were there last week doing meetings, and she said that she was at the store the other day because she has one on her car, and that somebody came up to her. They're like, oh, you're that Plexus girl, right? And so, but I do think that people get some. I don't know how often. If anyone on here has a car label that wants to give their opinion, please put it in the chat. I just have never used one. I know Ariele has never used one, correct?
Yeah, I don't have one either.
So, okay. What do you do for those who have had no interest in the business and do not want to be trained? I still try to get them on the phone to go over back office, but sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Like I just had someone order after watching for 2 years. Had another do the 7-day trial in January, and she's ordered. Okay, so here's the deal, Julie Compton. I don't know where you are. There you. I see. Or I see your name. First off, I don't train on back office at the beginning. I think training on your back office at the beginning, truthfully, is I wouldn't say a waste of time, because they do need to know, but like at the very beginning, if they don't have customers or ambassadors yet, then they don't really have anything to look at in the back office, maybe where they get paid, but at the very beginning they don't. So, I would maybe even get them on a three-way call with Kaylin or myself, Julie, and just tell them about the potential. I would encourage them, always add them to team pages. But here's the deal. There's some people that aren't going to want it. And we talk about it all the time. Run with your runners. Obviously, give them a taste. Don't let them go by the wayside. Don't ignore them. But I wouldn't worry about the back office up front, because if there's nothing in the back office for them to look at, then they're not going to understand it, and it's overwhelming. I learned the back office by clicking on buttons when we switched over. Truthfully, that's how I did. I still do. There's still things I don't know. I just sit there and click on things and try to figure it out. Yeah, Ariele, what do you think about that?
Yeah, piggybacking, add them to the team page. I don't even give anybody an option if they're a wholesale customer or not. That way they're going to see everybody else on your team page, their excitement. And then also, if they have no desire to do anything, just treat them like you would your customer. Check in with them like you would a customer, and just go from there. Just don't leave them hanging, but act like they're your customer.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Okay, Jessica Himes. I've seen several people that sell actual product from the home, dropping off product or someone coming to get them. I would think that you'd want to get them an account set up and ordering themselves, but I can also see how you would have the product in hand ASAP. I have a potential, want some. I didn't have extras to sell her. I've never sold product from my house, ever. When we were having the shipping delays, I had some extra product for that in case somebody needed it, like if they ran out, but I've never sold product from my house. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I don't want to have to deliver it, and I don't want to have to stand around to, it's just easier for me to have them on the website. Plus, they can't be preferred if you're ordering it and delivering it to them. So I'm not saying it's wrong by any means, because there are people, I know there's people in smaller towns maybe that do it, but I'm not a fan of that. And that's one thing that I liked signing up with Plexus, was that I didn't have to keep inventory. So nope, I haven't done it.
Same with me. I've never done it either. I send everybody to my website.
Yes. Okay, a couple more. Diane says, I have a huge car label. I've had it for a year. I haven't had anyone call me from it. When I get another one, I'll probably do it smaller. Thank you, Diane. Forgot that you had one. Julie, awesome. Okay. Natalie says, how do you respond when someone messages you on how much the cost is? Well, okay, here's the deal. In all reality, when I have somebody that's going to be a customer, I don't even really talk about retail. I think that it's silly for retail just because it's more expensive. And now that they have the opportunity to go into their own back office and cancel it at any time, then I think I really push that point. I'm like, I just always say this is the preferred cost. It's the cheapest way to go, unless you're going to do wholesale. But it just depends, because I know if somebody's not going to sell it in how I do it, and I'm not saying this is for everybody. If they're not going to order $100 a month, I don't tell them wholesale. They need to be ordering at least $100 a month to do wholesale with me. I'm not saying that everybody does that. That's just my own decision that I make for mine. But yeah, I just push the preferred, and I just tell them how much preferred is. Yeah, that's how I do it.
I'm the same way, and this is kind of where I was talking about. I lead with the business first, so I'm going to lead with joining as an ambassador, and then if that doesn't happen, then going back to the preferred customer. But I try not to do retail either if we don't have to. I'm either going, like Beth said, preferred customer or the ambassador route, and everybody should be buying or selling the $100, or there's no reason to even be thinking as an ambassador.
Right. And guys, some people just won't do preferred, even if that's all you say. And I don't not tell them to be dishonest. It's just cheaper for them. And now there's really no reason not to, since you can go into your own account and cancel it. They can cancel it. And so I just tell them that. I'm like, you can cancel anytime. It's just cheaper. And truly, I think I have they're all preferred. I may have one retail, but she only orders once a year. So she just, I don't know what she does. Just every once in a while she pops on there. But all of my customers are preferred. And I just tell them that it's cheaper. I mean, it is. And especially if you're ordering, more than one thing, it's quite a bit cheaper. So usually people go for that, but that's how I go with that. Okay, one more and then we're going to move on. I noticed that you do a video on your team page at least every week. Do you do that for a specific reason? How important do you think it is to do that for your team? Well, I started doing those, and I started doing them on Monday because sometimes there's things that my team needs to know. There might be something that came out from corporate that's very important, or there might be something end of the month, like remembering, let's remember these things at the end of the month. Or sometimes I just think some people need a push. I personally think that it's a way of communicating with my team that makes it real. Some people that work may not be able to be on these during the day, and so they may not get the information, but that's an easy way, short few minutes, to instead of just typing it out, to being real. I feel like I am in the car with some people sometimes, but to me, it's just keeping it real. It's a way of communicating. You see my real life, you see what I'm doing. I mean, half the time I'm driving down the road or sitting in the car somewhere. That's my life. And so I think communication with your team is huge. I think more people are going to watch a video than they're going to read a post without a graphic. And so if it's something, I just feel like every Monday, as much as I can, and even throughout the week, sometimes, like last week, I did one almost every day, that there was stuff coming out and stuff that people needed to know. And so I feel like sometimes just hopping on there is much easier and more effective than typing it out, in my opinion. Ariele, what's your opinion? Because she does them too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't really think there's anything that needs to be added on to that. So
yeah, do it. If you're not doing it with your team, because I hate videos. And the other day when I got done, I was watching back to make sure I didn't say anything crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never realized how many moles I have on my face because in that video. But I just think it keeps it real. And I think that it makes it more personable than just typing something out. So I hate videos. I did not do my first video until I was in Hawaii my first year. Sabrina, I know she was on here. Oh, she still is. I can't see her. But she remembers me doing that. That was a huge getting out of my comfort zone thing. I hate hearing my voice. There she is. She's on a horse. See, you can do it anywhere. She's on a horse. I think that people get to see you, people get the real you, people get that you can do this anywhere. And sometimes it's just easier maybe you can't read something, but you can listen as you're driving down the road, and it records it. And so, yeah, that's what I think. So, okay. All right. So let's get moving on. We already talked about our first point about watching Zooms, but I do incredibly believe that Zooms are important for so many different ways. The next thing that we wanted to talk about is building belief. Are you new to this business, or are you old to this business? Do you ever struggle or have a bad day or get frustrated? What keeps you going? What pushes you? Well, what pushes me is the belief I have in this company and the belief I have in these products. And so when I first started, I did not believe that these products were going to work for me, period. I had never taken anything. I thought my friends were crazy, but all I knew was I was getting fat running, and so I needed to do something. But Celeste encouraged me to share. Well, how am I going to share if I don't even believe that they're going to work for myself, right? Well, what I did believe was I believed that it had worked for Ariele because I had seen it. I believed that it had worked for Celeste because I had seen it. And so I started sharing my belief that they worked for them. I never let anybody on that I didn't work for me. Thankfully, it did. But I never let anybody on to that I didn't think it was going to work for me. I just shared what I did believe. And so how do you build that belief when you're new? Or how do you continue building your belief throughout the course of your journey? Well, friending other ambassadors, number one, is huge. Your sidelines, your uplines, your downlines. Some people you need to follow, instead of friend, just because at friend limits. Getting on Zooms, watching diamond documentaries, reading other people's stories, going to the corporate website and looking through that, reading the ingredients, researching the ingredients. You have to build your belief, and you have to continue building your belief. So if you just think that they work for you, that's amazing, and I'm glad that they're working for you. But at some point, if you're going to get tired of just telling your story, right? Or there might be somebody that doesn't need Plexus for the same reason you need Plexus. And if you don't have those stories in the back of your mind and you're, ready to go, then you might not know what to say. And so Plexus works for so many different reasons and for so many different people, and you need to have that ready in your arsenal of Plexus information, because somebody might come to you and say, oh my gosh, I have terrible headaches. Is there anything that Plexus can do for you? Well, if you have a testimony of somebody that you know or somebody that you friended, then you can be like, well, yes, I do believe that works for that, right? For me, I don't have headaches, and so I couldn't honestly say, yes, that works for me. Keep it compliant. Don't do it on Facebook pages. I'm just saying it. Have it in the back of your mind for when somebody asks, you can be like, oh my gosh, yes, my friend so-and-so. It also makes you, if you've friended people and kind of become friends with people and been on these and kind of get to know people on these and go to meetings, then it makes it more legit when you say, my friend Tara Stone, because I've met Tara Stone. I'm not lying that Tara Stone is my friend. I've met Tara Stone on multiple occasions, and I see her on meets. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of makes it, I do know that person. I do know it worked for her. So anyways, but always be building your belief. Always, always, always. I watch diamond documentaries when they come out every week. I still read people's testimonies. If you need to ask people what their testimony is, I know we've done challenges like this. Message 10 sidelines and let them tell you your story. If 5 message you back, you have 5 new stories to share with people, right? It can make you think of somebody else that needs Plexus, right? Always be building your belief in any way that you can. Getting on these Zooms, getting on watching diamond documentaries, getting on all of these things they're available to you. I really think that they're super important. Let's see, Julie Compton. She says if anybody needs a headache testimony, message Julie Compton. She has an amazing headache testimony. So, anyways, just don't put it on Facebook because that's not compliant, but at least you'll know somebody's story. So, anyways, Ariele, do you have anything to add to that?
No, you pretty much covered it. Just like you said, when you have a new person, they need to build belief in themselves, the products, and the company. So those are the 3 things I always say when we get a new person.
And I also don't think you can build belief if you're not being consistent in taking the products. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent in taking the products, or you cannot build belief. I mean, even though I didn't believe, I was being consistent in taking them. And when I started having my own story, my belief skyrocketed. Okay, I'm gonna do one more, then let Ariele go to the next one. Goals. Well, she's good at this one too, so we'll kind of split this one. Having goals is huge. I still make goals. I make goals every week. I make goals every month. I make goals whenever there's contests. My goal this month is to get 3+3. I have no clue where I'm going to get all of those people, but I'm going to try my hardest to make it happen. My hardest. I have a couple people in the works, so that means I have 4 more I have to get. I'm not going to stop until the very end of the month. I hope that I make my goal. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to figure out how to do it, who I'm going to contact, anybody that's been interested before, and we're going to make it happen. If I don't come up with that goal, if I just say I want it to happen, we all want it to happen, right? Obviously, if I don't come up with a game plan, it's not going to happen. So I, in my mind, am like, how am I going to reach more people? I've got to think back to the people who are interested, who've ever been interested. The other day, I have a girl who told me she tried to sign up last month and for some reason was having problems and she went out of town. So I messaged her and I said, okay, here's the deal. It's time to sign up. The company's having this awesome special. You can win money off of this awesome special because, you're brand new, you're ready. She wants to work the business. You can get this awesome special too, but you have to sign up. And she said, okay, well, I'm going out of town today. But I'll be back. And I said, okay, I will call you Tuesday or Wednesday because she won't come back, and we will get you signed up. You have to take steps. It's like I talked about last week on my football analogy. I know that was just brilliant, but I'm just kidding. It's just my life. Like, football is my life right now because of my family. If you didn't hear it, what I talked about was in football, you want to win the game, right? But it takes steps to winning the game. There's a first down, second down, third down, and fourth down. On rare occasion, you might have a Hail Mary where you just go out there and throw a pass and make a touchdown and score. What is that equal to? Somebody just messaging you out of the blue saying, I'm going to sign up as an ambassador, right? That would be a Hail Mary. That would be awesome. Does that happen? Every once in a while it might. But in reality, does it happen, or do you have to take the steps? You have to take the steps. You have to get the first down. You have to make the initial conversation. You have to do the follow-ups. And sometimes you get a fourth down and it doesn't work out at that time. Sometimes you get a field goal. Maybe they're thinking ambassador at the last minute, they changed the customer. But if that makes you stop, you're not going to win the game. You're not going to win. So keep going, make the baby steps that you have to make the goals, set the goals, and go soar. Every leaders retreat contest that comes out, every convention credit contest comes out, I make a goal for myself. What do I want to hit? How am I going to get there? And I have to figure out how I'm going to get there. I have to figure out how many ambassadors I need, how much my PV needs to be. I don't just say I want it. We have to figure out how to get there. Do you want to be diamond? Yes, you want to be diamond, but it has to be in an attainable amount of time that you get to diamond. I'll sometimes say, what are your goals per month? And somebody will put, well, I'm going to be emerald. Well, it's sometimes hard to go from senior gold to emerald in 1 month. So let's make them realistic goals and work on a plan on how you're going to get there. So are you senior ruby right now and you want to be emerald by July of next year? How many people do you need to add on your team each month to get to emerald next year? You have to come with a plan. You have to have goals. You can't just say it's something that you want. You have to do something about it. So, and Ariele is great talking about this, so I'm going to let her take over.
Well, you pretty much said most of it, so not sure what you want me to say. Basically, goals. I didn't start making goals, you guys, till I was a jewel. I didn't really get the importance of it until much later in my Plexus career. I like to tell people to make a 30-day goal, a 60-day goal, a 90-day goal, and then stealing from Melissa Eichenhorst, a big, hairy goal. And I always tell my team that scary goal should be being emerald by July 31st. Something else, I'm sure I've done it on here before, so I don't want to take too much time, is writing your goals down. You need to write your goals down. Like Beth said, it needs to be specific. What do you want to achieve? It needs to be action oriented. What are you going to do to achieve your goals? And then time specific. When are you going to achieve it by? I believe that by doing those 3 steps, it's really going to help you to achieve your goal for sure. And then something else, again, I'm referring back to the Leslie Zan because I learned so much these last 2 weeks. she talked about visualization with your goals. Like literally just write it down. Where do you see yourself? So like a year from now, I would be writing down, what's today? It's August 6th, 2017. In the past year, this has happened. It's all about visualizing it and going back to that whole writing down your goals. So I'm big on goal writing and dream boards for sure.
I was just about to say the dream boards are amazing. I love doing those, and it's really fun at the end of the year. And I don't mean just like for my dream board, like I find pictures of what I want to accomplish. So like last year, I wanted to be able to pay for my kids' private school. So I found my TCA logo and stuck it on a page. I wanted a pool. So I found my swimming pool picture and put it on the page. I wanted to take a family vacation. So I was specific to where I wanted to go and put it on that page. Make it fun. Make it exactly what you want, because looking back at those is so cool when you've hit those goals. But keep it where you can see it. Post it on your board. Post it in your office. Post it in your car if you need to. Make several copies so you can look back to that and say, this is what my goal is. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm going to hit and accomplish. So
and then really quick to add on to the goals, if you don't hit your goal, that's okay too. Look back on what you did and didn't do to achieve it, and what are you going to do differently the following 30 days so that you can achieve your goal. So just want to throw that in there as well. If you don't hit your goal, it's okay. You just need to go back and look at it and reformulate how you're going to hit it. So
yeah, I agree. There's many times that I haven't hit my goal, and yeah, it's frustrating, but you can't quit. You just have to keep going. You have to push forward, and you have to figure out a different way to do it. Ariele, you want to do the next one, and I'll look at this question while you're doing that?
Sure. The next thing we have is DMO and IPA, and I know a lot of you guys probably are already doing this. I actually just found this. Lucky, if you're on my team, I probably have it on there. It's a DMO. What I did today has a 3-2-1 rule. Are you reaching out to 3 new people a day? You write it down. Are you following up with 2 people? You write it down. And then check in with 1 team member. I'm one of those people, I literally have to write it down. So I'll print this out and then each day go through my checklist. Developing relationships on social media in person, write it down. Who did you meet today? What did you talk about? Same thing on social media. Facebook post, did you do a personal post and a Plexus post? Personal growth, what are you reading? I'm currently doing a book study with some girls on my team. We're doing the 4 color personalities. If you guys have not read this book, you need to read it. I'm understanding so much about the people on my team. I'm a red. I'm to the point, quick. That's what it is. I'm red. That's me. And then I'm followed by blue. But I just like to do it and be done. I'm learning I have a lot of yellows on my team. So I need to really learn more about the yellow. So
it's a funny book, and it's an easy read. That's a great book to start with. I love that book. I read it literally on an airplane ride to Lubbock, which is like 45 minutes. It's a great book, and it really does help you understand your team and people you're dealing with, like customers and stuff. Like I am not a red. I am yellow with some blue. And I think that's what, yeah. And it's fun. Like I'm about to put it on my page today to see what people, y'all already know what I said, but I'm going to see what friends think I am, because it's very interesting. I love that book. It's great.
Yeah. Yes. So personal growth, read 30 minutes every day. And then building belief section, read 1 testimony. And this kind of goes over what we are talking about earlier, building belief. Watch 1 Diamond documentary, write it down, write what it was about. So then when you have a prospect come to you, you have that Diamond documentary to fall back on. So I'm sure Beth probably has something like this on her team page as well. But like I said, if you're like me, I like to literally write things down. I like to cross things off versus just do it in my head. Yeah. So let's see what else about that. I think that's pretty much covers everything. I mean, you guys know we get income by signing ambassadors and customers. So the more people you're reaching out to, it's a numbers game, you guys. The more people you're reaching out to, the more people you're going to sign. So use your time wisely. If you have another job, I get it. So do I. How are you going to fit it into the nooks and crannies of your days? You have to think smart. So don't just be sitting on Facebook, scrolling through. That's not income producing. That's a waste of time. Literally what's going to get the job done is picking up the phone or voice messaging people on that Facebook app and reaching out to them. So that's really what I've been focusing on for myself and my team as well.
For sure. And some people say, well, how do I make conversation, or how do I get the information out there when I'm out and about? I will say this, listen to people. The other day, and I'm going to use this as an example. I don't even know if she's on here. I can't see who else on here. But I was with Kaylin and Sheila Mobley in Scottsdale, New Mexico. And Sheila took us to dinner for Kaylin's birthday, and it was a really cool thing. It was like a dinner pairing. So we had a chef cook for us, and anyways, so some of the other employees were there, and we just started talking to them and come to find out, a couple of their wives were in pretty bad health. And then we were in the Uber, and we started talking to a man, and he was picking us up for the airport in Scottsdale, and he was headed to his job, but he would start picking people up at 5:30 in the morning to make some extra money so his wife could stay home. So we just started listening and talking. Kaylin ended up getting everybody's information, and before we got off the plane in Dallas, we made New Mexico and then Dallas. She had worked up specific emails to each of them. Each one was different, and just so it was nice to meet you. Made it personal. One of them, the wife was in just terrible shape, and Kaylin said, "I know that your wife is in really bad condition, and I know that is not easy," and made it heartfelt and personal. And I mean, she's had people respond back to her. So just listen, guys. People are hurting. People are in need. People need these products. People need this business. So just talk to people when you're out and about. Talk to your waiters. Talk to the doctors. Talk to the nurses. Talk to your hair people. Talk to your nail people. Talk to the people sitting next to you at the nail salon. Whatever. Just start talking and listening, and it's going to come up. So the question that we had was, it says, I've been an ambassador for 6 months and still have yet to hit silver. My main focus, besides trainings, posts, goals, and sharing with those I come across, is creating relationships and getting to know new people weekly. I really hope in creating all these relationships will soon pay off. Okay, relationships are the heart of this business. Period. It may mean that you meet somebody in a year, they decide that they need Plexus because they need to get to know you more. Relationships are the heart of this business. When people trust you, they're going to listen to you. So I absolutely believe making new relationships in any way that you can. It's what Ariele just talked about. How are you going to socially connect with people? Are you friending new people on Facebook? Are you friending people when you're out and about? Are you adding them to your Facebook page? Are you messaging them? Keep in contact. Always be meeting new people. Y'all are fun people. Y'all are sweet people. Y'all are nice people. People are going to like you. When you're at the park, when you're at the grocery store, friend somebody. Make it a goal to meet 5 new people every week if that's what your goal needs to be. So, okay, you want to go on, Ariele?
Sure. Next, and again, this is pretty self-explanatory. Watch YouTube videos, you guys. We talked about that earlier. Watch those diamond documentaries. Go to the Plexus Worldwide YouTube. Go to mine. Go to Beth's. We have all of these Zooms on our YouTube channels. And when we started, like she said, this was 3+ years ago, 3.5 years ago. We didn't have all the information that we have now. There's really no excuse. You can pretty much find anything you need on YouTube to learn and grow your business. Again, keeping it short and sweet. I don't know if you have anything to add to that. But
I would just say even reach out past us. There's so many of the diamonds, so many of the jewels have YouTube pages and do videos. Watch them. I watch them. There's days I'll just go to video, if I'm especially if I'm at home and I can click on different ones, I'll go to somebody's page and just sit there and watch videos. It's amazing how somebody can say something and it will strike a chord with me, and I'm like, that makes sense. I need to do that. I learn all the time from those. You can never stop learning. So go to those leaders that you respect and look up to, and find their YouTube page and start watching. Start listening. I agree.
Absolutely. Go to YouTube.
It's a great resource. I know that one is super simple, but or like Ariele said, we did not have this stuff when we started. And again, when we mean do this, you have to do this and try to get out there. You can't just spend 5 months learning and then decide to share Plexus. We shared Plexus and did what we did without any of this and without knowing. We had to figure it out along the way. And so they're just great resources. So make sure you do that, but also make sure that you're not spending all of your time doing that, because you do need to be recruiting and you do need to be sharing and all of that stuff. So, yep. Okay. The next one we have is learning your comp plan. And, you know, I sometimes think, especially when you're brand new, the comp plan is so overwhelming, right? Because there's so many different ways that you can earn money. So when I have a new ambassador, I really do try to keep it simple. These are your goals. And when you get these goals, when you get to the end of the month, we'll look into your back office and we'll look at the comp plan. But I want every ambassador to have $500 PV or more. I have never had a month that I did not have 500 PV. And why is that important? Because we know that you get bumped up to 25%. So that's something simple you can tell your new ambassadors that's not confusing. I also tell them I really want them to try to get 3 new ambassadors in that month and go silver. Those are simple things you can start with when you have a new ambassador, but then go deeper as they start growing. Learn your comp plan. Look at it. There's tons of comp plan videos. There's comp plan videos on Plexus Worldwide. There's some on these leaders' pages. Learn it. Look over it so you know you're not missing out on anything. You can get paid a lot of ways. The other thing I say is get all of your customers preferred, because those preferred bonuses, if you're selling $500 and they're all preferred, you're going to get a good chunk of change back in your preferred bonuses. So look over it. If you have questions about it, then ask us. You know, because you do want to know how you're going to get paid. I just know, like for me, I was so overwhelmed. I could not understand for the life of me why I would want ambassadors and pay points versus customers. Like I was like, I want 25% commission. I don't want an ambassador for 5 points. What are 5 points? But guys, as you grow, I promise you want ambassadors, because pay points, I mean, you know, I make tons more in my ambassadors than I do in my customers. So
totally agreeing. I didn't know anything about the compensation plan when I started. You guys, it took me 3 months to go silver. I didn't know anything. I was, like Beth said, all about signing customers. I thought that was where the money was at. I had one of my customers reach out to me within the first month saying she loved it. I guess she was involved in MLMs before. And she told me she wanted to sign up as an ambassador. And I literally told her, no, stay a customer. I did not understand what going silver was. I didn't understand that. And I remember too, after I was silver, I remember Beth to go gold. I have background, sorry. And I thought it kept saying 3 people kept adding up. I did not understand the compensation plan. So now I make sure that everybody I sign understands the compensation plan, because I'm leading with that business.
right. Yeah, and if y'all have questions about it specifically, please message us, because we will understand. Y'all can make some serious money with this compensation plan, and we can tell you how. But the first thing you need to know is get to $500. Sign all your customers preferred. Sign ambassadors. Don't be scared to sign ambassadors, because they're going to sign ambassadors, and they're going to sign ambassadors, and they're going to sign ambassadors. Don't be scared. I could not understand that for the life of me. But tell your people up front those things. You know, the 11 different ways when you get to diamond, you can tell them briefly, but I would not spend 3 hours talking about the comp plan, because it's going to be over their head unless they get a comp plan. Like I had no clue. I'd never done this before. But tell them the basics. Tell them these are things. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, go into more detail about it. I think, you know, but you know, there's so much to learn at the beginning. But if they can do those things, you also, if you have somebody with the potential, which I never knew this for the longest time, if you have somebody that you really think can go fast start gold, don't be scared to tell them they need to go fast start gold. What does fast start gold mean? It means you go gold in the first 30 days. It means you have 20 people on your team. You don't have to have they don't all have to. They have to have their welcome packs and their backup order on, but they don't have to have over 100 PV. But fast start gold is a huge chunk of change. So if you have somebody that you really believe that could do it, don't be scared to tell them about it. Okay, so the next thing, and now we're just going to go and finish these off. There's just about 4 more, and they're pretty simple.
Hey, really quick. Sorry, guys. Beth, I just texted you too. Sorry, but I'm going to have to go in like literally 5 minutes. Sorry, my husband just texted me. I have an emergency, so I didn't want y'all to think I'm hanging up rude, but so if I leave, that's why. So
You're good.
I texted you.
We can probably be done in 5 minutes, but you go, go now if you need to. The next thing we want to talk about is getting off of Facebook. Okay, Facebook is an amazing tool, right? We use Facebook to share. We use Facebook for our team pages. We use Facebook to learn, to become friends with other sidelines. Do not scroll Facebook for 3 hours a day. It is a waste of time. Ariele already touched on it. The other day, Sheila Mobley, when I was with her, she said something. She goes, did you see this? And then a little bit later, she said, do you see that? Do you see that? And I said, truth be told, there are very few times, unless I'm sitting in an airport, that I scroll on Facebook. I don't have time to scroll on Facebook. It's not beneficial for me to scroll all day. I get on first thing in the morning, before my kids get up, and look and try to catch up on any, look at my notifications, try to catch up on the team page. If there's anything super important, I put that. Then I put it away until I take my kids and go to the gym and all that. Scrolling for me, yes, you need to keep seeing what your friends are doing, and you need to keep that audience. What I have been doing is sometimes I will unfollow. If I start only seeing Plexus posts, I will unfollow some Plexus people, not because I don't want to be friends with them. I am still friends with them. I can go look at their page, but so I can keep active with my friends that are not Plexus. I just will, so I can see what they're doing and comment on theirs. So guys, do not waste all of your time on Facebook. Use it for what you need to use it for. Scroll when you have a couple minutes. Scrolling for an hour is not income producing activity. Just plain and simple. That's all it is. So anyways, that's simple. Personal development, we've kind of already talked about just a little bit. Get some books. I'm not a reader. Get books on audio. Start listening to, YouTubes. If there is an author, or if there is a speaker, or if there's somebody that you really like, follow them on Facebook, and they usually have videos. I know like Sarah Robbins does videos on Facebook. Les Brown does videos on Facebook. Follow those people. And try to read. Like I said, I started the book that Ariele just showed us, the 4 different color personalities, and I read that one in 45 minutes. There's several books that are easy to read. I just did the 21 Laws of Leadership, and that's a long book. When I got done, I was like, that's the longest book I've ever read. It was an amazing book and totally made me think. I did a book study with some gals on that. Challenge yourself. If you're not a reader, challenge yourself to read something. Start with something small, but keep growing yourself. It's amazing how much you grow in this journey, personally as well. So that is huge. If you want to learn more on personal development, Sarah Marble talks about it all the time. She's an amazing one to go watch on her YouTube videos. The next thing I want to talk about is getting a sideline partner. How many of you have a sideline partner? That means that somebody that's not in your downline, that might be a sideline. For me, it's Cheyenne Weeble. Cheyenne and I are both Celeste level 1s, and we recently just happened to sit next to each other the first convention we were at and became best of friends. We're very much alike. We help each other out. We've done team meetings together. We actually did the book study together. We did calls together all the time. Somebody that can give me different ideas. Find a sideline. Find somebody that you're like-minded with, that's on your team, like say on my team, but maybe on a different leg, and join forces with them. I know like Jody Anderson and Monique Pritchard and Cindy Greenleaf, and I'm missing one of them. There's 4 of them, and they're sidelines. They do stuff together all the time. They brainstorm. Their support for each other. That's a great thing to do. So, and then the final thing we wanted to talk about was don't waste your time on those that don't want it. Guys, it is so hard when you want it so bad for somebody, right? And you want to spend all your time making them want it, making them train, and trying to get them to do this and trying to get them to reach out to people. I get it. It's so hard. It's so hard when you see somebody that could benefit so much from this business, but they won't do it. And what we have to realize is that we can't want it for them badly enough, and we don't need to waste our time trying to get them to want it. And I don't mean that harshly by any means at all, but there's some people that just truly want wholesale, and that's okay. And maybe later they'll change their mind. So don't just, like Ariele said, treat them like a customer. Don't just write them off and never message them. Follow up with them. Follow up with them once a month. But don't spend all your time wanting it or trying to get somebody that wants it that just isn't ready to do it. It just might not be their time. So that's what we have for our training right now. We would love to do more of these where y'all can ask questions. So if y'all ever have an idea for a training, then let us know. And and we'll do it. And then, like I said, next week we'll be in Hawaii, so I'm sure you'll see, we'll do some videos and fun stuff like that, but there's no Zoom. And then we'll start working on our schedule after that to get these back up and going. So there was one more question. I think Julie was asking something. Can you name some of your must-reads? You know what, Julie? I will put them on, what if I start a post on the team page and list some of them, and then if anybody else has other ones that they've read that are great, then y'all could add to them. There's several that I have read and I have them, so I'll take pictures of the top of the book so y'all can see the author and all that, so y'all don't have to write real fast. But anyways, we're just a little under an hour, so I'm gonna sign off. But if y'all need anything, let us know. And thank you all for being on here. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.